little bit of downtime. The players are just creeping to try to get whatever advantage they can. Actually, only the nightelf player is creeping now to get their advantage. The human player, realizing he's at a bit of a disadvantage at this point, is just sitting at his expansion, thinking he's going to have to defend his expansion. Nightelf player actually knows that the expansion is going to be a little bit harder for him to hit at this point, so he's going to keep the pressure on that main base, knowing that he was very successful in his first attempt to take out all those peasants. Opting to try to hit the main base rather than the expansion spot is going to be definitely a good move. Human player did try to put up, was trying to put up a few extra towers to defend his main base, but at this point, it's not going to help him too much because the bears and dry is actually going to do a really good damage to towers, especially when they're under construction. They take extra. So now the humans coming up from behind. This is kind of a bad positioning for the nightelf player, although he does have a good amount of items. He's got scrolls of healing. He's got a potion of lesser invulnerability and a scroll of town portal on his demon hunter. So if he can get the human player to pay attention to the demon hunter rather than his units, he's definitely going to be able to come out ahead. And if not, then he's going to have to town portal out, which is what he's doing right now. He doesn't want to take any losses. Unfortunately, he left the bear out, and the druid of the claw was a little bit stuck out of front and wasn't able to make the town portal. And human got a kill on that. Right now, if we look at hero levels, we got a level 4 Archmage and a level 1 Mountain King compared to a level 4 Demon Hunter and a level 4 Keeper of the Grove.
Research
Sorry, my dog's having a nightmare. I gotta wake him up. Wake up, puppy. Where are you? I hear him barking. He's whimpering. He's sleeping at my feet and he's having a nightmare. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, where are we? We got the nightelf player putting up another expansion spot. This is actually my favorite expansion spot. If you're at where the nightelf player expands, or where he's at, his spawning location right now, I would actually opt to try to creep this expansion spot out over my natural expansion, because generally the majority of players don't scout out that location as opposed to naturally going to your natural expansion and thinking that's where it's going to be. Unless you're able to defend it well, which he was able to do this game. As an orc player, I typically try to expand at that northern location. So if you ever see me on Lost Temple, and I always try to opt for that earlier expansion at that map. So he's doing it at a later time, which is definitely a good move anyway. Again, really using those illusions as a good scouting mechanism. You putting it on your Demon Hunter, the illusion gets the speed of those boots of speed, I believe, and can successfully scout out any other expansions that might be going up. Human player's actually doing the same thing, but kind of opposite. It's kind of like a mirrored mode here. The human player expanding at his, or is going to be, he's bringing a peasant out right now to expand at that south-western natural expansion there. Now we're going to see another fight here. This is a really bad positioning for the human player. His riflemen are way up front, and they're going to be taking a lot of damage from these bears. And he doesn't really have any front lines. He was depending a lot on his Mountain Kings to be the front lines, but unfortunately this time his sorceresses are way out front, and his riflemen are out front too, with no water elementals to really absorb any of that damage. Another bad move by the human player is he doesn't actually have a scroll of town portal, so this is really, really good for the nightelf player. He's using his staff of preservation really, really good. He's got a staff on both heroes, which double the amount of units he's going to be able to save. He waits until they're really low, and then boom, he's going to pot them out, save them. Really low HP bear there, save, denying that human any experience to try to gain. And the rifles and sorks, everything's getting torn up just by those bears being right up in the mix. Definitely a bad situation for the human player. He actually was targeting the Demon Hunter again. At this point, the Demon Hunter is level 5. He's going to have level 3 evasion, I believe, and it's going to be hard for anyone to actually kill him unless you have some type of stun surround ability. Even that, he's got a Scroll of Town Portal and Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Demon Hunter would be the worst target in this situation to attack. If you don't already, make sure when you're clicking, when you're in fights, check what your opponent has on his heroes, because that can help you in determining if you want to target that hero early on or not. Like if the Mountain King, if there's a tier 2 Mountain King out, like as a secondary hero, you can double check to see if he's got a Scroll of Town Portal and any healing potions on him to decide if, hey, this guy is completely naked, doesn't have any items on him, he's going to be a really good target. He's lower level, doesn't have any scrolls of temporal, potion of vulnerability, or any heal pots. I'm going to target this guy and kill him early on because he's going to be easier to kill. Because he had to staff his bears out, he's going to have to wait for them to come back at the moment. He should bring them back into his army. But right now, the human player, that was a pretty decisive battle. Or sorry, the Nile player had a really decisive battle there. Although both players have their expansion up, the human's going to have to really mass up a good counter to those bears and dryads. Unfortunately, he's sticking with his rifles, he's sticking with the sorceresses and the caster option. In that fight, he saw that the nightelf player actually had the mountain giants, and casters are really ineffective versus mountain giants. They have medium armor, which aren't going to take. They actually take reduced from the magic damage. The only thing they take extra from are actually normal damage. I would have made the switch to knights, and maybe SpeierG can reiterate that for me or not. Again, I'm saying everything that SpeierG should be saying, so you guys are probably going to get that double in his audio commentary. Anyway, he knows human better than I do, so I'm just guessing at counters here. But as the nightelf player, if you're going to counter the human player who would go knights, and you're seeing knights and Modars, I'd still stick with the bears and dryads, but maybe, if possible, mix in some chimeras, because those chimeras really tear up those druids of the Talon, they're going to tear up the knights that you're going to have to deal with. I got dots on the mind because I've been losing a lot to nightelf players as usual. Now the nightelf player is taking out his. You just saw him right now. He took out a dryad to stay in low upkeep. If he had stayed in higher upkeep, he would have had a little bit of an economic disadvantage. At this point, it doesn't really matter too bad. He's got a lot of gold saved up, so maybe staying in a higher upkeep would have been an okay option for him. He's waiting to stay in low upkeep as long as possible to gather up as much gold from his expansions. This is a scary thing to see. Illusions on a mountain giant is really scary because they're really high HP units, although they're going to take extra damage from that arcane counter because the illusions are kind of a summoned unit. Right now, the mountain giants have the club, which changes their attack to siege damage. Now, this actually works really good to take out towers, but in addition, it's actually been really good for them to take out the caster units, which take extra from siege again. So you notice that later on, he's going to keeping those trees. He gets the trees, grab tree option with the mountain giants to do extra damage to the sorks. Again, he's going to be able to use taunt to keep the sorks focus fire on the mountain giants and away from the druids of the claw, which are going to take extra from magic. Although they do have their armor upgrades, so that extra damage is going to be reduced slightly. I really like seeing motor teams versus nightelf, actually versus a lot of races. They do a lot of damage. I've actually seen a lot of heroes dying to motor team focus fire. But to make them effective, you actually have to have a good amount of them, and he's only got a few out at the moment. He's got a lot of idle peasants too at the human, so probably should put those on some trees or bring him over to the expansion that he just finished. But right now he's blocked off, and Demon Hunter now has Metamorphosis. He's got Scroll Temporal, Lesser Vulnerability. Do not want to be hitting that Demon Hunter. The human player finally realizes that, but his Mountain King just died at the moment, and his casters, again, way up in front. Definitely need to move those back. If your opponent's leaving those casters and his DPS units out front, man, by all means, take them out as a nightelf player. Again, really awesome staff usage. Those dual staffs. If you're a nightelf player and you don't go staff on each of your heroes, especially if you're going to go bears, you really need to consider going that, because denying your opponent that experience and those kills and actually saving your units so you don't have to build them is a good move. This is a really tense moment here. This bear is almost dead, being chased down by an Archmage. 9 HP, his bear is still running. Archmage just got entangled root and died, and this Water Elemental is chasing down this bear. Water Elemental got the last hit on the bear. Unfortunately, the Archmage died, and the Keeper of the Groves got level 6, so he's going to be able to heal up all his mountain giants that are left. All his bears are still alive, but they're back at his base, so he did a really good job keeping his bears alive. And this is pretty much going to be GG's. Game's going to be over right here at the moment. Just heard the dryer go off, so that's kind of silly. Alright, game's over now. Both nightelf players are level 6, so we can go ahead and exile the game. Pretty good game, I think. I mean, not necessarily from the human player. Definitely made a lot of mistakes. Hopefully, some of you human players can learn from those mistakes using this audio commentary, and hopefully, some of you nightelf players can learn how to deal with human players that go those strategies if you seam yourself against that anyway. I'm actually going to include in this audio commentary a bonus replay. I'm going to load it up real quick to just take a look at it. You don't have to watch the whole thing. There's only one little note I wanted to make on it. It's a human versus human on Turtle Rock, and one of the human players uses his very unique creeping strategy here, and I'll point it out when as soon as I load it up and watch it here. But he's going to use his the creeps that he can create, or the critters that he creates. I forget that I use them sometimes to scout with, but as a human player. But he's going to use them to do a really cool kind of fast creeping thing. Really low level. He's going to be able, as soon as it turns nighttime, he's going to be able to do it, and he's using his Archmage and this ability to do it. So let's see. It's going to be Blood Elf Pris is who you want to watch. He's the blue player. I'm just watching it really fast speed so I can see when he does it. Builds an early Arcane Vault to get it right at, as soon as it turns nighttime, he's going to bring his Archmage in there. He got Blizzard. He gets Blizzard first. He buys 2 mechanical critters, and he's going over to the bottom left gold mine. He's also going to bring some peasants along with him to fast expand at this location. And he uses those mechanical critters, in this case 2 rabbits that spawned up, to block off the melee creeps from hitting him, and he keeps his Archmage behind the gold mine. He actually had to use his Scroll of Healing to keep his Archmage alive, but once he killed off the 2 Troll Berserkers at the camp, the melee critters can't hit him. And the Ogre Lord, which normally is pretty hard to take down, isn't able to hit him either, and isn't even using Shockwave to try to take him out. So he's going to get level 2 off this, almost like 2 1/4 level, and he's also going to be able to expand there early on. It's kind of a risky move, but if you can creep this out, there's no way your opponent's going to expect you to have crept out that location for a fast expansion. So it's good that he did that. The rest of the game really isn't that entertaining. I just wanted to point out that that was kind of maybe an exploit or something with his critters. But something another human player might be able to want to do. I don't know. We're getting a lot of... that was, again, someone that sent that to me through the... they just wanted to show me some of the replays that they've been playing. So I thought you guys might like to see that. I don't know, is that an exploit? I was asking him if it was an exploit, and he doesn't think it is. He actually didn't make the strategy up. He said a friend lost to it, and he wanted to try it out, and it actually worked pretty well for him, he says, in a few games. But I think it was probably a good move. But I've seen Blizzard in the past patch some maps, like add trees in certain situations or change the creep sets because of moves like that. So I'm not sure if that's actually listed as a exploit or not, but heck, something to exploit now if it isn't. So thanks, guys, for listening to my audio commentary. I'm going to be doing another one, this time not on an AvgJoe game. I found another audio a replay I wanted to do one on from Wera, another orc game to kind of steer me away from these AvgJoe replays, but that'll be going up soon after this one probably, maybe after SpeierG gets his audio commentary done for this same replay. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and again, if you guys want to send me your replays, I very much enjoy watching all your replays and sending you replies, so go ahead and do that. You guys can continue to do that. Just send me a PM on the forums, and I'll get that going for you as soon as I can. Thanks for listening to my audio commentary. Comments welcome again. You guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.